What's going on, Niner fam? It is Peter Lucas and another Niner victory to close out the season in convincing fashion. This is the Niner Fanatic Podcast. What's going on, y'all? It is once again Peter Lucas. This is the Niner Fanatic Podcast. I'm so happy, y'all. I've already got some people in the chat, like really stoked about this victory because of a few things. And this is the reaction show. But first, we're going to start off the show with make sure you give it a like. Make sure you give me hit up the bell so you can get the notifications when I go live. Make sure you, most importantly, that you subscribe and that you tell a friend to tell a friend, and then we can be friends every week. I want to make sure that we tell, let's make this spread like wildfire. But look, this was exactly what I want. Not exactly what I wanted, because honestly, the team started off a little slow, right? And of course, first, right away, the defense gives up a big play, and which I don't necessarily completely blame Lenore on. I felt it was a push off in the back. And I saw some other people disagree, but I think that it was a push off. And and Lenore is a little bit of a smaller guy compared to AJ Green, so I don't necessarily hold him completely accountable. I thought he played a lot better than he did in the last game. So I was really happy to see the defense get a bunch of turnovers and really not play with their food. And once this offense got going, and once Shanny stopped trying to just try stuff out and try plays out and not really get, it was kind of vanilla. It was kind of a vanilla game plan, especially early on. But I just felt like the big plays just had, there was no threat ever that felt like this was going to drag on and this was going to be a game that the 49ers were even going to be scared, even in the vicinity of losing. And that's what I like to see. The starters got pulled in the fourth quarter. Like, we got to see, we didn't have to see CMC get 30 carries. We didn't have to see Debo get a whole bunch of touches. We didn't have to see Elijah Mitchell get more than he needed. They got just enough. They got just enough to get them into the groove and to set it up for next week's playoff performance. But before we go any further, I want to acknowledge the people in the chat. I appreciate you guys for coming in. Eric, first guy in the chat. Good evening, sir. It was great. Like, I as you can see, I'm really stoked that, I mean, the biggest thing is 10 wins to finish, to close out the season. Then just think about where this team has been the last 5 years under Shanny, and just think about how good this team really looks compared to, and how in sync and in stride this team is compared to teams that we've gone, like the teams that we've seen in the past under Shanny. I think that it took all of those things and all of the things, that the decisions that Shanny's made over and Lynch has made over this time frame to get to where we are right now. And I think that it was all learning experiences. So, but I digress. We're gonna get back into these comments, and like I said, thanks for coming in, Eric. Melissa, as always, thank you for coming in. It's always a pleasure to see you. And then you got Damian. Appreciate you coming in. What's up, Peter? How about them Cowboys? Exactly. Like, I mean, this is the thing. A lot of these teams that didn't really have anything to lose, uh, you saw it today. I mean, you can't really take too much from it, but I just think that the Cowboys, I think that game is gonna versus the Bucks is gonna be a bit is gonna be a tougher game than Cowboy fans think. But because I believe that they play the Bucks, I'm pretty positive they're playing the Bucks. But yeah, I think it's always good to see the Cowboys struggle. So and then you got who, and then Melissa says, Peter Elijah is back. Let's fucking go. Like, I mean, and I don't normally cuss on the show, but I mean, I was stoked to see him. The guy ran hard, ran tough. You always forget. I mean, absence makes the heart grow fonder, right? And you always forget like how good some of these guys that go out, how good Debo is, and how explosive he is. But Elijah Mitchell, that he is an X factor in this playoffs that I think is going to be. I mean, the fact that we didn't have him or Debo in the last few games and they were still blowing teams out, this game never felt like anywhere near close. And granted, it was the Cardinals. The Cardinals are bad and they're really injured. They're really injured. So I don't want to take too much from beating the Cardinals, but in the past, the 49ers have been accused and rightfully so of playing with their food, playing down to their competition. That we didn't see that. This offense has not played down to its competition for since honestly since, and I know everybody's going to point to CMC coming in, but I'm really pointing to when Purdy came in. Like because that I feel like that was really the missing piece of getting this offense to just flow naturally. And that's the thing is it just flows naturally. You're not holding your breath when a certain quarterback is tap dancing and it's really the even though Purdy's not perfect, like I mean, he doesn't need to be perfect. That the biggest thing with Purdy is that he hits guys in stride. He hits it, and he makes and he attempts the throws that are gonna go for big gains. And like that's really all you can ask for. And I mean, in the red zone, I mean, he protects the ball. He protects the ball and he makes really good throws. The throw to Kittle, I mean, that was a really nice route by Kittle. But I mean, it was an anticipation throw. And I mean, that's what I've been saying for weeks now is that I'm most impressed with Purdy's anticipation, his trust in the offense, his trust in what he's seeing, and pre-snap and post-snap. And that's the key. Like he's not going to throw for 67, 68% of his or like Jimmy's percentages. He may not have the throw chart like Jimmy does, but that's because Jimmy doesn't throw the ball away. He'd rather take the sack. Like he's going to throw the ball. He's going to throw the ball. Not he's going to throw it on them or behind them instead of in front of them. He doesn't. He doesn't. I don't want to make this a Jimmy bashing session, but like it's just a better look. I will say that. It, and the thing about Purdy is, and I don't want to dwell on Purdy either, but is that the eye test will tell you that it just looks fun. It's fun to watch. It's fun to see all of these weapons finally get put in the offense. And there's no thought process of like why isn't this guy getting the ball? Why isn't this guy getting touches? It just flows. And I don't know if it was meant to be that way when Kyle was calling plays before, or if Kyle's just calling plays differently now. I don't know what the situation is. But all I know is that this is a really good marriage between Kyle and Purdy right now, and it's got this offense humming at the right time, at the best time. So I don't think and people are worried about it when they go up against good defense. They've gone against good defenses. Like they've gone against solid defenses. The Commanders have a good defense. And I think you saw it today against the Cowboys. They got good defense. We've played some good defenses. I think that it speaks to Kyle's play calling, and he's been called a genius and like all the other stuff, and we've always seen how he's got open guys all over the field, but we didn't have a guy that could just get those guys the ball. And that's been the problem. The guy, and not just get him the ball, but get him the ball in space, get him the ball on time, get him the ball in stride, to make a play with their feet after they catch the ball, and that has been the key. So it's it's pretty. It's pretty. I don't have another word for it. Purdy. I know that's a terrible joke, but but regardless, let's get back to the comments. And uh let's see. Oh, appreciate you, Melissa. Definitely smash that like button. George Kittle, it was, I mean, he's turning into the George Kittle that we've been missing forever. I mean, that people were talking about trading this man. like and what that maybe they just need to get what they can get for him and cut their losses because they don't really need him. But this guy was helping. He helps out the run game. He's running route. You see now he's been open. He's been open, and it is what it is. For whatever reason, they weren't getting him the ball. Purdy's getting him the ball now, and he's out there dominating. And it could just be that the fact that Purdy's getting them the ball, they're running their routes with a little bit more conviction. And who knows? That could be what it is. There could be a lot of things. But the fact of the matter is all of these skill position players are balling out right now. I don't see a defense in the league right now that could stop this team, like this offense, just because you can't cover everyone. NFL defenses aren't built to cover everyone. They're built for matchup purposes in today's game, and there's no team in this league that can, even the 49ers defense. I don't know. It would be I would love to see that, but at the same time, there is no team in this league that can cover as many weapons as the 49ers have, because it's all over the field. There's not really a weak link on this field. There's not really a guy that can't get separation. So it's crazy, crazy. George Odom interception. I mean, we had a Taj Gibson, or we had a Gibson interception. We had a who else got a pick? Somebody else got a pick too, because there was three. But yeah, interceptions for everybody. Sacks for we had an Ebicam sack. I don't know how many that is for him on the season, but I think it's two, like his second. I don't think he's gotten really many this year. He hasn't even really gotten an opportunity. But then, of course, Bosa's got to get his last game of the season. It's just it's an embarrassment of riches on this team. There's so much depth, so much talent. It's just crazy. And then we've got Damian. Shout out to the Rams. Shout out to the Rams O-line for a great job this season. Exactly. I mean, it's always fun to see the Rams even though it was the Seahawks beating them today, it's always good to see them lose, and to see the speculation of them losing Aaron Donald, the speculation of them losing their coach that finally brought them out of the cellar. I love the chaos. I love all of the Ram fans. Just they're probably biting their nails right now, because if McVay leaves, I mean, who do you get? Who do you get to replace McVay? But not that I think he's really going to leave, but I just love them being nervous about it, if that makes sense. But Cowboys in the house. Yo, yo, yo. Love seeing you. Appreciate you for coming in, brother. And Melissa's really feeling Elijah today. Like, but and oh, Melissa, appreciate you for sharing the link on Twitter. But yeah, like yeah, there were so many haters and doubters for Kittle, and such and we look back now and it was just unwarranted. It was just unwarranted. But fandom, when we don't get results, fans have a propensity to just we want him gone. We want him gone. Like he's not doing the job. And the same can be said for quarterbacks. Like same can be said for any position. We've been saying, when is Ayuk going to blow up? Well, Ayuk's got 1,000-yard season this season, and I would say a majority of it is because I mean, he has a really good connection with Purdy, uh, likewise with Kittle, and Purdy is building a connection with everybody. If yeah, he definitely has a connection with CMC, and it's just I know that the numbers aren't that much different than Jimmy's, but it just seems like he has more of a rapport with these weapons, and that you can see it on the field. They love this kid. They love him. And they're not gonna say he's better than the other guys. But at the end of the day, you can see it, the body language and all of it. You can just see it. It's great to see, like just to see the just the harmony that this offense is running in. It's crazy. And Sosa got his wish to pass 4 sacks today. He got 5.5. But yeah, uh I'm guessing she's talking about Bosa. But yeah, it's let's start talking about like the individuals in this game. So I talked about Purdy ad nauseum already. I'm sure you guys are sick of hearing about him, but I want to talk about what Debo brings, because I was really nervous about bringing Debo back in and what that would really look like. Ayuk still got his, Kittle still got his, and Debo was just a change of pace. CMC probably would have gotten more carries, but the reality was is the offense didn't get bogged down. It didn't look like we were forcing. It didn't look like that they were forcing the ball to any one guy, and I love it. I love the fact that we're just spreading the love everywhere. Purdy's just going off of his reads, and because that's what's going to happen in the playoffs. Like, teams are going to key on Debo. They're probably going to start keying on Kittle. They're going to want to key on Ayuk, but that's the thing. That's three guys I just mentioned. Like, how many teams can cover 3+ guys in like how many? Like, you just don't see it. You just don't see it when a team has that many weapons. That's just the three. And when a team has that many elite weapons, it's really hard to guard, like, to defend. But then you add CMC into the mix with the run game, and you add Elijah Mitchell into that mix as well, who's going to run hard, and it's almost too much. Like if I was looking at this team and looking what they have, and how we were going to guard, you better one thing is they better have a front four that can stop the run and rush the passer. That's one, with just your front four, with the occasional help from your linebacker, but you better be able to do that. Then you better have some corners that can guard Ayuk one-on-one, which there's not many corners in the league that can do that one-on-one. But your corners better be able to play man-to-man. Like, because if you try to play zone against this team, you're going to get cooked. And then you better have linebackers that can cover Kittle, or a safety that can cover Kittle in the slot, which, I mean, we've seen in the last few games, they're just not out there. Even with teams they're supposed to be good in defense, they're just not out there. So it's really crazy. Uh And Melissa said Samson Ebicom last few years never passed 4 sacks on the year. I mean, this is the thing. Samson, I feel like he does a really good job. If Kittle, or I mean Kittle, if Bosa wasn't there, he would probably. I mean, he's just always a step late of getting to the quarterback compared to everybody else, and he's a pretty good player. Yeah, like I think he's improved against the run since he got here, and he's a good player. He's a really solid player. He's always a step late to get to the quarterback. He just doesn't quite get there. So it was great to see him actually get home today and finish a sack. Like I mean I know that there's got to do something for his confidence. And remember last season he didn't even really get going until the end of the season. So hopefully, maybe that gives him a lights a fire on. I'm really kind of wondering what they're going to do with Drake Jackson because every time Drake Jackson touches the field, something good happens, and I don't know why they don't. I don't know why they don't play him more. I'm guessing because Ebicom's there and he's a really solid player, and they've got other guys that they got to rotate in and out. But I wish they would play some more Drake Jackson. I really feel by next season Drake Jackson is going to be in that Ebicom spot. And but that's another thing about this 49er team is just so much depth. So much depth. Amenahu deserves snaps. Hyder deserves snaps. Even Ty McGill made a play today. Like they all have their roles and they play their role to the T. So but back to the offense. So you've got all these weapons, right? And what I see is when I'm trying to think of, I mean, we're still waiting for this Packer game to end today, but I don't care who the 49ers play because their defense is going to have to cover they're going to have to cover too many people. And I think if the 49ers execute, there's just nothing. I don't think that there's much you can do. Because you're going to have to stack the box against the run. Because with CMC and Elijah back, I mean, Elijah, people just forgot, I think, how strong Elijah runs, and people were expecting him to not be as good. He's different than CMC. He runs harder than CMC. He's got a little bit more weight onto him. He's gonna finish runs. CMC does his thing. I think that, and CMC had a great day today. If he hits the hole, if they open up a hole, CMC is going to get chunk plays. And I think that he's getting more comfortable in this run, these run fits. But at the same time, Elijah has been here, and I think Elijah hits the hole just a little harder. He's going to run through those arm tackles. And let's mention Jordan Mason got some early carries, more so than normal, and I was so stoked to see it. I know that he only had 3.5 yards a carry. It finally broke his streak of having 6.5 yards a carry, but he still ran strong. I still think that he should be their goal line situation, but I mean it's hard to even take that away from Elijah Mitchell because Elijah Mitchell was running through guys today, and it's just going to be really interesting going forward because the 49ers just have so many weapons. And you saw TDP get some run today, and once again he ended up with 3.5 yards a carry, 3.4. But I will say I don't want to give Purdy all the praise. He took a couple of sacks today that I thought were a little. I thought there were some bad sacks, and that he could have gotten the ball out and just thrown the ball away. I don't care how you have to do it. You knew they were coming. You knew you didn't have time to get them the ball. You probably should have thrown the ball away. Now I'm nitpicking because the offense looked really good. I mean, the guy had a 141 rating. Yeah, he only had 178 yards, but he only threw the ball 20 20 times, and he had what, 3 touchdowns, no picks. So, like I said, take your layups, which is what he's doing. He's taking his layups, and it's getting us through. Even when we have a penalty take us back, they're still converting. They're still converting. And before, the penalties were we couldn't deal with penalties. If a penalty happened, it was almost guaranteed we were gonna have to punt, but or kick the field goal. So the fact that they're getting the occasional penalty and it's not a death knell for the offense for that drive, it's huge. It's huge. But hey, I want to get back to, and Cowboy Angel said JP, most definitely. I was glad to see him get a chance to get some earlier than normal reps. Like I think it's big for him. And but I want to get to the defense because obviously, like, this is my reaction to it. It's not going to be that much longer, but but as far as the defense goes, I thought the defense played almost too aggressive. I feel like D'Amico just wanted to go for the kill right away, and he was just gonna keep coming. He was just gonna keep coming, and they were really aggressive with their with everything that they were doing, which is why they kind of gave up some yards on the screens, and because that's what ended up happening. Screens always kill this defense. And I'm hoping that they can get that sewn up because against the better teams, like Casey killed us with screens. And eventually you're gonna have to dial it back just a little bit and just hope that you can get enough pressure with your front four and not leave those. And you saw it again when McSorley came in, like he was able to run a little bit, and once again stunts, leaving wide open running lanes, and he was able to get a couple of first downs. Not saying that it was anything huge because obviously the defense was dominating at that point, but at the same time, it's something that I'm paying attention to, is that we've got to get to a point. I feel like D'Amico has to get to a point to where he's recognizing who the quarterback is in the game, what they're kind of mixing it up and not just going just all out like all the time. And with not just with the blitzing, but it just seems like the aggressiveness of and then sometimes he backs way off on second and longs, and then it leaves him third and short. It's just, I still think he's fine. He has to find his way, like with as far as the rhythm of his defense. I think that's something that he still needs to work on, in my opinion. Love D'Amico to death. I wouldn't ask for any other defensive coordinator on the planet, but if I'm nitpicking, that's something that I would nitpick on. So, but with that being said, we got 3 picks. We had 3 picks today. Like, and they dominated because, I mean, obviously the Arizona stinks. They had their third string quarterback in, and their third string quarterback is not Mr. Relevant Brock Purdy. Unfortunately for them, their season was already over a little bit ago. So and they've got so many injuries. But what I noticed is even their good player, JJ Watt, had 2 sacks today. I thought the offensive line didn't play so hot in obvious passing situations. Once again, McGlinchey was getting beat up by JJ Watt. It wasn't pretty. And but at the same, to their credit, the offense they found a way to, and I think that a lot of that would have been cured by them just running the ball. Honestly, those first few drives, it seemed like Shanny was just trying to pass, and going for the kill shot right away. And I just thought he needed to run the ball a little bit more just to set up those pass plays, because Brock is not Brady. Like, I think teams always happens, that teams, a guy plays well, and then inevitably the team wants to give more passing plays and they want to give more of the offense to the quarterback. It is perfect the flow of this offense is perfect the way it is. He doesn't need to do anything else than what he's doing, which is just hit the open guy, trust what he's seeing, hit the guy that you see in the on the read, pre-snap and post-snap, and that's it. Get the guy the ball. I don't need to see Brock throwing the ball ever. I don't ever need to see Brock throwing the ball 40 times or 35 times, to be honest. Like I want to see this team run the ball and set up play action. This team is lethal if you can just do that. Period. Point blank. So, but with that being said, it was a great win. Great regular season. I can't say enough how happy I am about the way this season is really playing out. I mean, would I have liked to see? I mean, there's a whole bunch of what ifs in there, but at the same time, to think if you would have told me we would have had Brock Purdy starting at the beginning of the season, you would have told me that Brock Purdy would be starting and we would be 13-4, I would tell you you're a liar and I would have cussed your name out. But the reality is we're here 13-4 going to the playoffs on a roll, and to finish the season on a 10-game win streak. Kyle is cooking on with hot grease. And yeah, hot grease to my Tipville guys like out there, but it's it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch. I'm excited to do my show on Tuesday and get it cracking and like really start breaking down what we saw, what we are looking to see in this next playoff matchup, and have everything finalized. But I appreciate everybody coming in all season long. The channel is still growing, but I appreciate you guys for showing up, bringing your questions, bringing your comments. Remember, hit the like button for me. Hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure that you hit the bell to get the notifications when I go live. And then please remember to tell a friend so that we all can be friends every week, so we can be here. You can see me on Facebook, on Twitter, and on YouTube. You can see me. If you don't want to look at my face, you can find me. You can find the audio version anywhere where you can get your audio podcast. So there is no excuse. I don't care where you go get it, just get it. All right. But I appreciate you guys coming in. It was like I said, great win by the 49ers. Great season so far. Let's keep it rolling. Let's keep the momentum moving. Like I love that we're not having to lean entirely on this defense anymore. It's giving the defense some room for error, and yeah, like I mean, I will see you guys on for sure. I think I'm going on with Ryan. I haven't heard from Ryan yet, but we think that we're going on with Ryan tomorrow on his show on Monday. We usually do Victory Mondays, and then Tuesday I'll have my show, the Niner Fanatic Podcast, 6 p.m. Pacific time. Then I believe we're going to do Last Man Standing for another. We're going to start our playoff edition. That's on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Pacific time. So make sure you tune into all those things. Make sure you add all and subscribe to all those guys' channels. But once again, thank you guys. Thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Like it's been a great season, and let's get into this playoffs. Let's make some noise. Let's get this Super Bowl. Let's get this Super Bowl. But one game at a time. Let's just get this dub in this next playoff game. But it'll be at home, so Niner fans go crazy. But with that being said, I'm gonna always finish it off with "Go Niners."